Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to be going through a vertical panel saw. This one happens to be a Holzher. I'm going to go through it from all the way from the floor all the way through to the scoring device. So with that being said, let's get started.
All right, so we're getting ready to make this cut here. You'll see that I've got this setting up on blocks, and what we're going to do is I got one at this end, one at the other end. Sometimes I use round dowel pins, and I don't have those available to me today. So what we've done is we just raise that up, and that takes any variations from the factory edge of my board, takes that out of consideration. If I have any blemishes in my reference surface, it takes those out. Gets us at 2 points. You'll notice I got it at this foot, I got it over here at this foot, and I got it over here at this foot. All right, then the other thing that I've done is, since I've raised it up, I put a mark, the center line of my panel down here, so that I manually line it up because I'm no longer relating to these scales. All right. Got quite a bit of resistance on this. Had quite a bit of resistance on this as I was sliding it through. I could feel it, and I don't know if that's in the blade or if that's in the machine, but I did not feel it in the machine the first time. Now, looking at this, you can see I got some burn here. Chances are that's on here as well. That is typical at the end of the cut when it closes up. I don't have the wedges to slide in this. They're around here somewhere, but I don't have it. The other end, what I see initially is I got a lot of burn here. So what that makes me think is that I may not have it on the front sheet, but as it's going through, that I've got some heel to that blade. Not a problem, because that's what we're here to fix. Get this adjusted. Lower that down, we'll make another cut. Not enough. My initial cut, when I just cut that, you can see that I'm burning on the front of the blade, so this blade itself is dull. That doesn't help it. No wonder it's pushing so hard. All right, so here is the part that you want to be careful of. We'll get our scrap out of the way. We need to do a book match to this. That requires us to pick this sheet up, so we want to make sure that when we go to pick it up, we don't drop it, because it hurts. So what we've created here is a book match. Man, that material is crooked. We've created a book match of this profile. So any error that I have is going to be doubled. Holy cow. We set this up, we're going to go through here and we're going to measure this, and we want to have no more than 4/1000ths of an inch variance in it. 0.1 millimeters. Slide this in, found my feeler gauge. I cannot get it in here, cannot get it in there. It's tight. I know it's tight there, it's tight here. Came extremely loose. All right, so we are out of plumb to here, which tells me that I've got a crown like this, which holds true with everything that I've seen so far. All right, and this one, actually you don't even need a feeler gauge to see that one. That one's open quite a bit. So what we're going to do is if we took this measurement, whatever this is, and we split it in two, that's how high this foot has got to come up. So let me gather the appropriate wrenches for that. We'll make an adjustment to it. Before you do that, take this down for safety's sake so it doesn't fall on you. Then we're going to raise that foot up, repeat that cut. All right, so I made that adjustment to that, brought this foot up. This machine has been under so much stress. When I cracked that foot loose down there to break this up, the whole machine jumped. And it jumped a lot. So let's set this up for the next cut. Oh, fun, fun, fun. So my pieces rolled out. Things I need to do is pull my chip breaker back. Splitting tool's too deep. We're gonna have to fire. So yesterday we fixed this unit here where it was not wanting to shift, and it now, because of that, is causing our parting tool to hit. Come on, move back. Why is this thing not moving? Every day. So the parting wedge on this does not need to protrude all the way through to the back. If this was a Strebig, that shoe or guide here is part of what sets our version of scoring for them. On the Holzher, this slides in and out, so when it's back, that it has something to rest against. We aren't that far yet, so I just backed that up manually, got it out of the way. Time we're done, we'll get that resolved as well. Still fighting a bad blade. You'll notice as I'm cutting with this, I am not pushing or pulling on the motor. If I push or pull on this handle, I'm going to add influence to it. And I don't want to do that. Holy cow, that thing is bad. Once again. Set our material down softly. Flip her over. Much better. Still isn't exactly correct. Let's get our feeler gauges. Find our 0.1 again. And we know when I was cutting before this is bad, so I'm not too worried about it. But now it's snug to here. Check the rest of this. It's better. Still tight. Still tight. Still tight. All right, so I think you get the idea. I am going to... All right, so I've got several cuts into this now. 5, 6, 3, 4. I don't remember exactly how many it is. One of the things that I have noticed is that it's always healing really, really bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of that heel out because it's got so much in it that I can't get that end to adjust out. So as that blade's coming through, that blade is crowning until the blade gets under load. It's adding an influence that I cannot compensate for at this point. All right, so it's adding influence that I cannot compensate for. So what I want to do is get that influence out. 19s, they're not 17s, they're 19s. 19, it's an 18. So everything that I see here is kind of indicative of what happens when you just run a machine. And the only thing you care about is putting parts through a machine. You don't take care of the machine, you start getting these kind of issues. Now, I'm not going to say these guys abuse the machine because I absolutely know that they do not. But this is the kind of stuff that you will see. Alright, set these down because I'll probably have to make that adjustment again. Now, no adjustments to the machine. See if it cuts better. Feels like it could use just a little bit more. Yes, just from the looks of it, I can tell you it needs more. All right, one more time. Before long, if I don't get much better of a cut on this, just judging from the way it's burning, we are going to change this blade. Oh, that is way better. As far as the what it takes me to push this through, that is way better. Son of a gun. All right. Still adding no influence to it. All right, so I am going to stop everything here. We're going to swap those blades out. All right, we're going to try this again. Put a new blade on here. Release everything. I had all locked up so I can move the blade around. 22. We'll cut this one at 22. Blocks are in place. Holy cow. It's like I got a sharp blade on there or something. That is significantly better. Move my debris for just a minute. Let's flip this over and see what it does. Grab our gauges again. Look at that. We are tight right there. Loose at this point. Oh, nope, tight right there. Let's run this up. How far do we go? We go to right there. But it is better. Significantly better. Significantly better. All right, last cut on this, and then when we go in, we slide it down, check that. Then we'll do our back plane, because that could be adding some influence in this as well, as if we're twisting our beam this way, which we already know. And repeat. You'll find this a lot. We cut, we test, we repeat. We cut, we test, we repeat. And we're coming up shortly here on lunch. My fight with this blade is significantly less after all of our adjustments than when I started. I can see that's better just with the naked eye. 4/1000 tight. I'm open there because I can see some blemishes when that blade went in. Got some influence on it and snugged up back here. This end, now you see now, just from feeling this, I've gone too far. Gone too far because this was tight and now my openness has come out to here. So my 4/1000ths is to here. Four-thousandths is there. So I've now taken that too far. I'm going to back it back down. That last adjustment is not a problem. I know where I was. Now, I'm going to stop it there, get set up with my plumb line, and we'll go back in there and we'll measure that again. We've got to measure it here. Okay, so I set my plumb bob back in place and just did an initial test on this. Hey, come loose. Holy cow. Man, what did they tighten this thing up with? So initially what we had, see, make sure, try to get sight on this, make sure you can see it. Initially what we had in here was 189 in that center leg. This one, when I just tested it, we're at 198. And that's purely because we raised this foot up, and as we raise this foot up, we canted everything over. So we've got to take that out. We test and adjust, test and adjust. We're 190. Come on, settle out. 192. Where are we at? $190. Half a turn. Where are we at? $189. So I kind of jumped out of step here just a little bit. Normally I would go through and level my horizontal completely. Both sides, all three legs, 5 zones, however many we got in there. This one, because I'm constantly getting problems on my ends, I wanted to make sure my back, that plane of the back is correct. At least close. Let me get my plumb bob out of the way. We'll need that later. Now, drop this back down. Cut and repeat till finished. Go down 1/4 inch. That should have helped us get us a better reveal. Oh, I can feel that already, just in the way that it's cutting. Quality of the cut. If you notice now, I no longer have any burns in this, and part of it was the blade, part of it was the heel and toe, which, by the way, the heel and toe is not done yet. I just made an adjustment to get through this. Flip her over. Oh, look at that. We're going to take a look at this seam. I'm still getting a gap down here. I'm not sure why. We're snug to there. Alright, where are we at over here? Can't even get started in there. Can't get started there. It is getting better. I'm not going to do too much here on this any longer, because what I suspect a part of our problem is our heel and toe. Just judging from it, where this is at in here, when the blade goes in, it gets fully loaded, that we've got some influence from heel and toe. So I'm going to drop these panels down, take my risers out, move it to the other end. If we have a heel and toe issue, we should have the same kind of problem here with this being at the other end of the machine. We should see that same kind of problem. And I do think we have some, because we got the we have the side heel and toe we know is out. We have the chip breaker that's still in place, hardened shoe, whatever you want to call that crazy thing. All right, we do not I'm tight there, open here, nope, tight here, and I'm open here. All right, so what I'm going to do is, we're at that time of day where it's almost lunch. So what I'm going to do is break for lunch. It still appears that we've got a little bit of crown like this, which is an adjustment over here in this foot, because this one opens up a little bit at this end. But it's not bad. It's very, very close at this one. This one here is open quite a bit. Now, I'm checking all this with a 4 thousandths feeler gauge. And that 4 thousandths that I'm feeling down through there is half of what my error is, or excuse me, double what my error is. So if I was actually, where I could get an 8 thousandths feeler gauge down in this end, then it would only be 4 thousandths of a crown. So it's very, very close. But we're being very, very picky right now for a couple of reasons. One is I am evaluating the saw. It's been a long time since I've serviced this machine myself. The other is I'm doing it for instruction purposes. So I'm using a 4 thousandths, a 0.1 millimeter. All right, so I've been fighting what I think is a heel and toe issue, as well as with everything else. So a couple of things that I've done while we were at lunch. I went ahead and pulled the chip breaker off, parting tool, got it laying over here out of the way.
and I'm starting to do a heel and toe on this because I'm just fighting with this way too much. And when I do that, I've made a horizontal cut and then come back in, did a plunge cut with the back, and then moved it in. And what you can see in this, you see that lip. Let's see if I can do something to create a shadow there where that will show up. There, you can see that clear as day, assuming that it focuses in on it. Let me see. The screen keeps turning it off on me. But right in here, I've got a probably 1/2 millimeter lip. So that saw carriage is still going like this. I've already made 2 adjustments to it prior to this, 2 or 3. And these are my 2 test cuts. It got better. I'm gonna go do another cut or another test adjustment and another test until I get this correct. This is not my final setting because I want to make sure everything else is correct before I come in and do this. Also, I'm doing a particle board. I will do it with melamine because right now I'm just trying to find out where it's at, to learn where the saw is at. After I get that corrected, we'll do it with melamine because the surface of the melamine will show any error that we have much better. Okay? Alright, tried a couple different camera settings to try to get rid of some of that flicker from the LED. I apologize, I can't get rid of it. It just happens to match with the camera settings. This is after, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 settings. I finally got it down where it looks very close. Again, I got that camera flicker. It's driving me crazy. So, to give you an idea, if you can remember how it sounded when I first started this process, this is the way that it sounds now, doing this exact same cut. It had a growl before. Back this up. See how nice and quiet that is? So that is a difference just in the heel and toe. Now, again, that is not the final setting. That is just for me to continue forward to level my base up, because basically when I'm looking at this machine from my point of view is that I assume everything is wrong. So we're just going through and we're checking everything. All right? Now, back to tuning our bases. All right, so let's go in and let's see how she runs. See if we made any improvements. I got the boards back in place. Drop this down because we've lost our measurements. What number are we? 21. Let's go 20 and 1/2. See how she does. Well, it pushes much better. It sounds much better going through the board. I wasn't getting the typical fighting that I was, where I was pushing against the blade and had a little bit of a fight. Judging from the cut, I see a little bit of burn at the beginning, but that's not unusual. Let's see how our book matches. Look at that. Molto bene. Now we can make some adjustments to it. Small one, and we repeat.
Why do I keep closing this thing up? I do not know. All right, so my cut just went to hell up here. So what it tells me is I've taken it too far. All right, but now we know that it's purely in my adjustments here. That it's not in the saw head, at least I don't believe so. Quarter, half, oh, she got a little loose there. Like I said, we do this, we repeat till finished. All right, so on camera, that looks much worse than it actually is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a ladder, climb up there and see if there's something on the top of that rail up there that I'm not compensating for. I don't know if it's dirty. I cleaned it roughly before we started, but I want to see if there's something on it that is causing some jacking of this. The only way I'm going to know is to get up there and look. All right, so after all the adjustments that we were doing on there, I do not understand why. I'm really puzzled about this, but this end of the machine, the left side, as we're sitting at right now behind the machine, but the left end of the machine seems to be, just this last station seems to go down, and it shows up in that board, and it's not bad, but every adjustment that I would do, taking out that few thousandths of an inch, make an adjustment, test it, make an adjustment, test it, they really did not seem to be doing a whole awful lot. And if I would make a major adjustment here looking for a reaction, then I would throw it off on the other end with no improvement on this end. So I did a final trim at the other side, and the other end of the machine, tested that part, and it did okay. So the point that I'm at right now is, let me get this where I'm pointing it down here. I think you can see where I'm working at. I'm going to go ahead and dress my leveling feet. Not sure why that's reacting the way it is. That came out funny. But nonetheless, we're going to address those black blocks. You see those? It's kind of hard. This camera mount really sucks. I wish I had a way to mount this where you guys could go with me. I have one for my to mount it to my. Hang on, while this guy's making noise. Holy cow! Every time I get ready to talk. So I have a different camera mount. It's like a headband. But I'm really concerned if I go to use that as much as I'm swinging my head around, you guys are going to get dizzy. I think it's going to be a very unsatisfying point of view. Pull these rollers out so we have clearance. Do-de-do-de-do-de-do. Now this is the fun one. Ordinarily, if I was to make this cut, I would move this all the way down here like we have it. Got boards in my way, restricting my stroke. Now we move this down to 0. You can't see it, but you'll just have to trust me right now. Right there, I'm setting this for 0. When I go to plunge this in, so I can get you back where you can see. Yeah, and then we're just barely rubbing on that. Now we do this in a back cut. Holy cow, did you see that movement? That little shaking we have there can't contribute to our problem down there. So by the time we're done, I think we're gonna get most of this resolved. Oh, got in a hurry. That was bad. Go back to the beginning. So this thing started to run on me because it's doing a climb cut. And you can see where we're not barely touching there. There we go. This is where it started to run off on us. Nice and slow. I don't know if it shows up on camera very well, but we have a nice little hatch pattern on that. These have not been dressed in a while. You can see just the wear on them from when they were being used. See the wear here, a little bit here, a lot up in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump that down again, just a touch. Nope, too much. This machine is not very kind. It's a very small tweak. That's better. I can see that one cleaning up now. That one's still out a little bit. Holy cow, how bad is it? Yeah, get some pretty good cross hatches coming up there. All right. I'm going to take that because we only got this one little spot right here, and I can actually see where the blade is cutting it. It's just not shining up the way the rest of it is. But that wear is out of there. All right, on to the next thing. Now that cut that we just did changed our zero, so as long as we're here and we don't make any adjustments to this from the absolute side of the blade, which is the bottom side of the blade, it's going to read this right here. So if I go ahead and adjust this scale to 0, it's going to be tuned, and that'll be one more thing that we don't have to adjust. Alright, so that's set. Short shelf is the same function. We'll bring it down. As soon as we unlock it. That scale's not even set at all. Now this one's a little trickier. Get this out of the way. So I had a nice little chat with the owner. He come up, was asking me how everything was going, and to the point we're at right now, I need to dress off these little stands, and I think that we've got it close enough. You can hear where we're making our little ding, 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 ding cuts. Our plunge depth is a little much, so I'm actually having to hold it off some. Well, you can't see it, but there are some little tips back here that if we cut too deep, we'll cut them off. They've been mostly cut off already. So as I'm making my cuts, I'm trying not to cut so deep as to get into those. Those are missing, those are missing, those are missing. Alright, let's stop there, go back. So the owner was telling me this shop has been, not this particular building, but this company is 150 years old. That is just phenomenal. And he said he has been working here half of that time. All right, we'll put more dress on that. All right, so one of the other things, a little fun fact, you go back 90, trying to think what year we started all this. 95, 96. 95, 96, somewhere in there. I needed some jobs that I could do to help cut my teeth, to show people what I could do. You know, you always need somebody just to take a chance. Mel, the gentleman who just walked away, he was one of those people that took the chance. I will be forever grateful to him. Damn, you got us a cut on that time. All right, now we get to adjust the bottom one. Alright, so now, without moving anything, raise this head up, get this out of the way. I just told you we're not going to move anything, but we're going to move something. I'm going to line this up. I'm going to line this top one up with 36. I'm going to come down here to this bottom one, and this one is, so when you're cutting your saws up way up high, that you can see your measurement from the bottom. So we're going to take this one, since the bottom one is tuned, if you can see it. I'm trying, guys, I promise you, I'm trying to keep that camera still.